All right, how's it going, everyone? We are on day 12, path 22, Lamed and Lafcursiax. Hope you're all having a good morning or afternoon or evening, whatever time it is there. We will begin in the Nightside of Eden, but first I will show the image from the Shadow Tarot. You can take a screenshot of that if you like. Here you go. There you go. Alrighty. Without further ado, let's get started. The 22nd ray, or Kala. Behind the tree in the tunnel guarded, I believe it's supposed to be, the 22nd ray appears behind the tree. Oh, in the tunnel guarded by Lafcursiax. Yeah, that makes sense. Whose number is 671. She responds to a prolonged vibration of her name in F sharp upper register. 671 is a number of major importance in the traditional Kabbalah. It is the number of the law, or Torah, Tav, Oyin, presumably Resh, Aleph. I actually don't know how to spell Torah. T-H-O-R-A is what it says. The gate, Throa, Tav, Resh, Oyin, Aleph. I guess it could be it's probably a Vav. Speaking is an O. Anyway, Torah is the law. Gate is Throa. The wheel, or chakra, is Taro, T-H-A-R-O. And the goddess of love, Ator, A-T-H-O-R, or Hathor, is also the number of Adonai, the holy guardian angel, spelt in full. These ideas combined adumbrit, the formula of this path. These ideas combined adumbrate, the formula of this path. For when the chakra of the goddess is subject to the law or rule of 671, i.e. Lafcursiax, the gate of the abyss is thrown open. Adonai is a glyph of the sun. The word is usually translated as the Lord, but beneath the path of Adonai becomes Adonais, which is a form of Had, H-A-D, the Lord of Hell, see note Hades. The name Idonius means invisible or unseen. In the present context, the invisible form of Adonai, which may be evoked by In the present context, the invisible form of Adonai, which may be invoked by the formula of Lafcursiax. This involves the kind of sexual magic peculiar to the 9th degree OTO, as shown in the sigil, which is a glyph of unbalance. It should be painted in pale green on a rich blue ground. It shows a pair of scales upset by a crooked demon with an inane countenance. The demon's left hand is in the form of a yod enclosed in a circle, from which falls obliquely a sword or long-armed cross. The yod in the circle symbolizes the work of the 9th degree OTO. The scales symbolize the constellation Libra, which rules the path 22. Its reflection in the abyss is titled by Lafcursiax, whose tunnel runs oblique to this path. It represents a blasphemy against that adjustment, which is the formula of this path. Remember that in the Crowley-Harris deck, justice is adjustment, unless I'm mistaken. Pretty sure it is. Okay. Adjustment is also the title of the tarot trump ascribed to it. That which in manifestation, italicized, is a pathway of justice and equilibrium. Torah, law, is based upon the oblique pathway symbolized by the falling cross or sword. The tilting scales, swinging in chaos and confusion, suggest the formula of the funambulatory pathway, described by Austin Spar, or Spare. See note. Images and Oracles of Austin Spar, Part 2, and remarks on the symbolism of the swing or cradle, page 128, Supra. Okay. The Egyptian deity attributed to path 22 is Ma'at, or Mat. It is easy to recognize in the tunnel of Lafcursiax the distortion of Mat's symbols. The balance, the feather, the sword, etc. The doctrine is resumed in verse 11 of Liber 231. Also the Lady Mat, with her feather and her sword abode to judge the righteous, for fate was already established. The cross of equilibrium is awry, and the scales upset. The ruler of balance has been put down, as the Lord of the Abyss opens the gate of the dark goddess, and brings forth fantastic beings that haunt this tunnel in the form of ravenous birds with the faces of women who snatch away the souls of the living from their mortal clay. Hence the name of the order of Clifote, or Clifoth, reigning with Lafcursiax, is Abirion, meaning the clayey, or clay-like. For their talons drip with the ribbons of flesh, or mortal clay, that their ravening rips from the souls of the living. This symbolism is confirmed by the ascription to this ray of the African Egungun, E-G-U-N-G-U-N, bones of the dead. Egungun was the entification of law and order in the primal African mysteries. Idonius, or Hades, is a form of the Plutonian current that rules the abyss. The magical CD associated with this tunnel is ability to balance upon the treacherous and funambulatory way that leads from the negative to the positive in the realm of creative chaos. In other words, it enables the magician to spin a web across the gulf of the abyss, thus constructing a tenuous and perilous bridge between being and non-being, or between non-being and being. Understandably, the animal sacred to this formula is the spider, and the precision and symmetry of this path are exemplified by the ideas of truth and justice, Ma'at, or Themis, or any other number or name that relates to justice and balance. Alrighty, moving into the Shadow Tarot by Linda Falorio. Again, here's the image. Screenshot that if you like. Lafcursiax, the shadow of adjustment, or the shadow of judgment. Could it also be the shadow of justice? Reeling on the razor's edge of non-control between oblivion and bliss, we bring back life into balance by letting go. We bring life back into balance by letting go, allowing for creative chaos. The dark goddess Mot, the ravenous vulture, toys with a pet spider, feeding it ribbons of flesh torn from the souls of the living. That she has been doing this from ages past is attested to by the skull. It is that of Australopithecus africanus, having a geological age of 3 million years. Sparks of human lives are the fuel of her existence, whose origins are lost in dim mists of time when Nephilim walked the earth, when star people came from Nibiru, planet of balance and unbalance. Maybe I should look more into Nibiru, more into it. I've heard stories. When Nibiru, ruler of Libra, bears down upon our world in its 36,000-year orbit of the sun, Earth is bombarded with destabilizing electromagnetic radiations, causing great upheavals, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions, as in Deucalion's Great Flood. Nibiru's return stirs the archetypal excitement of a second coming. The excitement of the possibility of transcosmic forces taking a deliberate role in human consciousness evolution, e.g., the harmonic convergence of 1989. I wasn't alive. Return is marked by re-emergence of the feminine, redressing the male-female imbalance. When women actively seek to take back the night, it is the goddess associated with Lafcursiax. Whoever is returning from our archaic past, her visage is an adumbration of our far future selves, time warped into a chaotic present. It is she, Inanna Ishtar, goddess of love, warrior goddess, who redresses all imbalance with her merciless, swift sword. The spider is that dark emblem of Typhonian mysteries, the ancient serpent cult of Obeah, the Ophidian current, symbol of the goddess Maat and her cycle of returning. The crazy symmetry of the spider's web spans the abyss of in-betweenness into which we might otherwise backwards fall, crossing from being to non-being, crossing from the known universe into the aeon of Maat, which is ever spiraling toward us from an unknown future. Hanging upside down, the Spider Queen of Space spins her web, creating 256 windows into other dimensions, transmission towers into the void, pulsing extraterrestrial energies that serve to erode, then mutate human consciousness. It is the dread voice of Hastur, swirling darkly through the vastness of the universe. Hastur. Is that the Yellow King? Haven't read much of that. Anyway, the African Agungun, bones of the dead, the embodiment of law and order, is evoked by the pigment used, ivory black, made from blackened bones. Very interesting. Okay. Lafcursiax meditation. The powers of the tunnel of Lafcursiax are operating on the razor's edge of non-control, fearing not to redress imbalances, fearing not the power of righteous fury. Here is joy of life and passionate love, reeling on danger's edge of unbalance between oblivion and bliss. Here is ecstasy and creative chaos, as glyphed by the 8-armed symbol of the planet Nibiru. The need for work with the energies of Lafcursiax is suggested when we find we have been too rigidly adhering to abstracted notions of linear, patriarchal law, when we encounter belief in peace without justice, or belief in divine right, in hierarchies, and in the rightful place of women in their virtue of the status quo. Here may be found belief in a merciful God, yet fear of knowledge, freedom, joy, and life, and especially fear of having too much fun. Any blocking of these manifestations of risen Kundalini may result in literal vertigo. Literal vertigo. Very interesting. The formula of dealing with this vast influx of electromagnetic and bionic energies is that of no balance, of loosening, of letting go of dayside needs for linear balance and consciousness control that are at the root of nausea and vertigo. By relaxing, we allow a natural upward spiraling of our energies. Okay. Moving on to Tunnels of Set, Pathworking by Asenath Mason. All right. Focus on the sigil. It says, actually, I should that. Begin by raising energy, and then focus on the sigil. As you gaze at it, chant or vibrate the name of the guardian to attune yourself to the energies of the tunnel. As you do this, envision the image coming alive, moving and growing until you see it spreading before you like a landscape you can enter. Visualize that darkness flows into the room through the image, and clouds of silver mist fill the ritual space and envelop around you. They carry a fragrance of fire and smoke mixed with aromatic incense, shifting your consciousness and attuning it to the frequency and vibrations of the realm. When you get to this point, extinguish the candles, close your eyes, and with the image building in your inner mind, send a message to the guardian to guide you through the experience. Visualize that for a moment everything fades away and the whole world disappears. Then the darkness around you crystallizes into a scene. You are standing within a huge spider web with silver threads. The web is not static, it is moving and morphing, changing its shape at each moment. You start moving across the web, but whatever destination you choose, it disappears and other points emerge in the distance. You have to learn how to move in this chaos and unpredictability of the entire landscape. Take as much time as you need for it. Possibly, you will not even achieve it in the first working, and the journey will have to be repeated. Do not get discouraged, and return to the tunnel in another meditative session until you learn how to navigate this realm. Fair enough. When this happens, visualize that the path takes you to the center of the web. You can see there a female figure with a spider body and mask of Medusa covering her face. As you look closer, you notice that she is playing with huge silver scales, throwing bones, skulls, and other objects, but the scales are broken and are not moving. As you approach, she asks you to place something on the scales as well. Think of what would be an appropriate sacrifice to the Lady of Chaos. As you give her what she wants, visualize that everything disappears again. The void devours the whole landscape, and from what you have sacrificed arises something new. Embrace it, and when you feel ready to walk further, call the Lady of Chaos again and ask her to guide you through her realm. Open yourself to this experience, and when it is over, travel back to your body, close the working, and return to your normal consciousness. Or perhaps an even more grounded one. Alright, that is it for this one. Take care. Have a good rest of the day, good rest of the week, good rest of the month. Why not? If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them below. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.